А винтовка гладкоствольная, а, Вакула?
Нет. Раз винтовка, значит нарезная от слова винт. Разумеешь?
Разумею. А вот ты бы, Вакула, отдал бы за девушку свой автомат?
Видишь ли, Витя, за хорошую девушку я бы отдал жизнь.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MList. My name is Peter, and today we're taking a look at this 2022 BMW X5 M competition. Now, the X5M is a very, very interesting car. To a lot of people, it's the one-car solution, and honestly, I thought so too until I got behind the wheel of this car, because believe me, this car has a lot of different secrets to uncover for you and I that honestly, not a lot of people know about. Let's consider for a minute what the X5 is. The X5, from the very beginning, from the E53 model, was built on the platform of the 5 Series. The 5 Series chassis was taken, it was raised, it was optimized, and it was created to carry a little bit more, but to maintain that 5 Series ideology of being one of the best all-arounders that BMW has to offer. What the X5 became in the modern day is very different, but also very similar. This car is refined by the modern BMW standards, it maintains the BMW language, and it does everything very well. However, does it get ruined by the sides? Because every single year, these cars keep getting bigger and bigger. And yet, BMW has a very tough job to do. They have to maintain the sedan-like handling of the 5er in this massive, heavy vehicle. This car makes you feel like a big boss in every single regard. It makes you feel like a big boss when you see it. It makes you feel like a big boss when you drive it. It makes you feel like a big boss when other people are looking at you, because this car probably gets the most respect out of any modern BMW that's on the road. This thing looks so aggressive that honestly it makes you scared when you see it from the outside, even if you hold the title to this vehicle in your name. This vehicle sticks to the ground. It's very planted. The handling, even in town, feels amazing. We're in M2 right now with traction off, and this car is so responsive. The steering is aggressive. It's not overly stiff. It's not what you would expect. The X3M feels a lot stiffer than this car. It's the X5, so they keep the softer suspension. Of course, it's adaptive. Of course, we have adaptive dampers. We have adaptive anti-roll bars to make sure you keep that chassis as flat as possible through the corners. There's a lot of technology that's keeping this vehicle as planted as possible, considering its size and weight. One of the best things of the X5 is the visibility. We have a humongous sunroof. We have a massive visibility from the sides, virtually no blind spots. The mirrors are a little bit on the tinier side, but BMW does very good as far as visibility goes, and just the comfort of using this vehicle. You drive it for a little bit and you know exactly what your points of endings are, and you can handle this car like you've driven it for years. One of the best parts about M cars is that they flow around you. So you're not sitting on top of the car, you're sitting in the vehicle. The seating position is very much adjustable. Of course, we have the bending backrest where it comes up and it lets you adjust it to your back however you like it. We have massage seats, ventilated seats. We have everything that your heart desires for the comfort in this vehicle. An amazing climate control system that works properly, and a beautiful sound system, of course, to enjoy your tunes. With this stunning Silverstone interior, the full merino interior makes it such a great experience sitting in this car. The black Alcantara headliner, things flow really well. This is a proper BMW M car. Driving through Kearney, New Jersey after borrowing this vehicle from our great friends at Signature Pre-Owned, who you should, by the way, check out. They have a stunning inventory right here in northern New Jersey. They can make your dreams come true for any vehicle, whether it's a Beamer, a Porsche, or any other car that you enjoy. These guys can do it, so check them out at the link in bio. When you're on the road in this car, people feel your presence. They know you're here, they know you're behind them, and they cannot wait for you to not be behind them when they get out of your way. I have a feeling people take turns they were not initially going to take when they see in the rearview mirror. The front is so aggressive, the rear is wide and fat. Distance behind us is being kept. Those cars, they're not getting close because they know if they close, something really bad is going to happen. This car tells people not to mess with you, and if they do, that's going to be the last day they've ever tried to pull something on somebody that's driving this car, because it doesn't matter who you are, you're still being intimidative in this vehicle when you're behind the wheel and on the public roads. Just the nature of BMW X5M. We're going to try to merge on the highway. Okay, so we're not even close to the highway yet, and we're already doing speeds for which you can get a felony in any state, not only New Jersey. You probably could go to Nebraska and still get yourself in jail in the speeds that this vehicle is doing. We're merging on this highway. The cars behind us are slowing down, almost like we're the police. It is stiff. As you can tell, the operator of the camera is moving quite a bit. So what BMW has to do in order to maintain the rigidity of this vehicle is stiffen that suspension up. However, the way they do it is still very much BMW. They maintain the stability, they maintain the comfort, and this car is just so well-rounded. It has so much torque, it has so much power, over 600 horsepower in the competition model, and believe me when I say it, it's very much usable. It's not overly done. It's not like if you go stage 3 on your BMW M340 and now all of a sudden you're trying to avoid walls just because you cannot handle all that power. This car, it's designed around that power. The suspension are designed around that power. When you're an M2, you have the option to change to sport brakes. So you can go comfort brakes, which are nice and mushy, or you can go to sport brakes, which you press and everything in the vehicle, any passengers, anything, they're going through the windshield and you just hope that this thing stops them. The M760i that we drove had one big problem. It was too long. That car could not squeeze into any gaps. With this car, this little squarey bulldog, you're ramming into those turns. You can go around people, you can go into people, you can do anything that you want in this car, and everybody's gonna respect you because you paid money for this experience and it's your right to enjoy it. Whenever you see a BMW F30 on the road not using turn signals, it almost reminds you of the fact that the person driving probably watches TikTok, and the only reason they're not using their turn signals is because it's trendy. In this car, you forget about the turn signals. It's a genuine BMW experience in the sense that the turn signals just get out of the picture. They're not necessary just because of how much room everybody on the road gives you. Respect is what you're paying for. Respect on the public roads. And that's a very strange thing in America. Somewhere in something like Eastern Europe, right? In Ukraine, for example, you can drive any big black SUV and people are afraid of you right away just because of how low the median price of the car on the road is. However, with this car, even in the United States, everybody's afraid. Everybody's getting out of your way. People know that this is something very, very mean behind them. And if they don't respect you, they're gonna pay the price. So the X5M, especially the competition, this car is the dream of thousands of young boys, older boys, boys from Uganda, boys from Eastern Europe, from New Jersey as well. And it speaks for itself, especially if one of the things in your checklist when you're looking for a car is practicality, because this thing is practical, this thing is fast, this thing ticks every single box. One thing it doesn't tick is rear wheel drive. However, our friends at XDelete take care of that, so that's not even that big of a problem. As you guys know, the kidney grills and the lights, the headlights on the BMW of any kind are probably the top one most important thing that sets the character of the entire vehicle. And when we're talking character, well, this thing's got tons of it, literally tons of it, not only because of how heavy it is, but also because of how it looks in the front. Like I said, this is the competition model. This car is incredibly well spec'd. It's a Donington gray with a Silverstone interior. This spec is probably one of the best day-to-day specs because it combines taste. Nobody's gonna tell you, why'd you get a black interior? That's so boring. You get a nice, colorful interior here that's not too bland, that's not too impractical, and yet you have this Donington gray that's going to cover up all of the dust. These guys that you see right here make the magic happen. It's a big car. It's a massive car. It needs to be safe. And what creates safety aside from airbags? Well, it's these guys. And these guys do it really well. You don't want to pay $10,000 for a ceramic brake replacement. These you can actually replace at a nice cost and they're going to stop very well. And like I said, the M xDrive system and the system in this vehicle in general allows you to tune these brakes very well to where they're comfortable around town, but also incredibly sporty when you need them to be. They're slotted and they're perforated, so all of that heat gets dissipated out of there very fast. We have carbon fiber accents all over the place. The mirror caps are carbon fiber. The entire interior, all of the trims are carbon fiber. We have very tasteful tints here combined with these peasant blockers in the back. They do a phenomenal job. Getting in here is a very strange feeling. You're very high off the ground. If you see, I'm 6 feet tall and my foot right there is not touching the ground. So it's really tough not only to get in, but to get out just because of how tall it is. I wish it almost dropped a little bit with an air suspension. However, we don't get that in this car. So in the back, as you would expect from an X5, tons of room. The best part of the X5 is this roof angle. So no matter how tall you are, you're not getting that X6 little cramminess. You can get in here very nicely, very comfortably, and you can spend lots of time in here. And okay, yeah, sure, you can get a sedan, you can get a 3 Series, but nothing's gonna compare to a full-size car like this in terms of legroom, in terms of headroom. Nothing's gonna compare. And when you're done sitting here and you gotta grab something from the trunk, you come to the back, you put your foot under, and this vehicle does not suck it. The coolest thing, in my opinion, on the M car, soft closed doors. Okay, very, very much a 7 Series feature. We get that here. Now, the trunk, as we know, BMW X5s have that double setup where the rear is separate. It's button actuated, unlike the F85, which was not. So massive room here. Huge room. Not only in terms of loading, but in terms of depth as well. You can sit on this thing. You can have your girlfriend right next to you, smelling the beautiful fumes coming out of your M competition exhaust, and you can just have a blast. You could make a family here and then fit the kids that you made right on this bench, right in those back seats. What else do you need? This is a one-car solution in literally every single regard. That's what I'm talking. It's even alive. It's trying to kill me as we speak, not only on the road, but also when it's just existing here. No buttons were touched, and this thing is trying to close down on me. Let's see if that closes when you press this button. Awesome. Check that out. A super aggressive rear on this car. The width of these tires when you're in traffic and just the fitment and the general geometry of this rear is one of the best. The F85 is my personal favorite rear on any BMW ever made. I think this car is on a very similar level. These taillights lack a little bit of character. In my opinion, they're very stylish. Don't get me wrong, incredible taillights. And remember, this is the pre-LCI. So this car is kind of like that F85 inspired design in a very new format, of course. However, the rear in general and with this stunning Shadowline badge here just flows so well. Everything is so manly. Look at this fuel cap, right? Usually, what does a fuel cap look like? It's roundish. It's kind of, this car, the fuel cap tells you, yo, I'm a man, I got the cojones on me, and this thing needs to open up today, all right? Very squarish, very square design. I love it. Like I said, the G-Wagon is one of the best ones out there to do it, and this car does it in a BMW fashion. When it comes to G-Wagon or this, unless we're talking tax write-off, this is just a much better choice. Why am I not talking about the GLE and I'm kind of comparing it to the G-Wagon? Well, because the GLE does not get respected. The GLE just looks like if you took an elegant boy who came from France and he decided to get a nice car. That's what you would get. However, somebody who has something to tell the world, has something to prove not only to themselves, but to somebody else, are probably looking at a G-Wagon or something like this. And if you not only have to prove something to the world, but you also want to do it right, this is what you get. This is how you prove to the world that you've done something great in this life. So this is an expensive option from BMW M called the carbon fiber engine cover. We're going to throw the price of this right up here. And you tell me whether or not this is worth it. It looks stunning. Your mechanic is going to love seeing it every single time he opens it. Are you really going to enjoy it that much at every car meet that you go to in your family SUV here, showing off your carbon fiber engine cover? I don't know. 617 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque, coming from the S63 engine here with dual turbochargers with 4.4 liters actuated through BMW M's xDrive system. Is that enough? I think that's plenty. Is it mind-blowing when you first drive it? I wouldn't say so. I think it's very manageable. I think the entire way this car was built is to be built around this power plant. This power plant is smooth. This power plant can give you problems if it's not cared for, but if it's cared for, every BMW engine ever made, if it's cared for, including the V10 in the E60, is a proper engine that will last you a lifetime. The problems start to happen when these are neglected and when people do not take good care of them. However, if you take care of your car, if you change the oil properly every 3,000 miles, if you change all of the fluids, all of the filters, you're never gonna have a problem with this engine. And that's the best part about BMW M, is the strength that they put into the engines that they engineer. One of the coolest things that I found is the weight of this hood. This hood weighs less than the trunk on a B9 Audi S5. We can talk about the exterior of the F95 X5 M for days. And if you've seen it on pictures, it looks good. If you've seen it drive by you in person, it looks great. But if you drive it, if you own this car, the exterior of it becomes one of the best things that you see in your day-to-day. Your wife can be beautiful. She can be a beautiful Slovenian, almost presidential-looking woman. And yet, when you see this car and you see your wife coming into this car, the symphony of these two things in your life just becomes so great that honestly, money becomes almost able to buy you happiness, because money can buy you this. Money may not be able to buy a Slovenian girl, but they will buy you a gift for her. And ultimately, those things combined is what creates power behind you as a man in this world. Inside the car is stunning. There's textures everywhere. You have honeycomb going on the door, on the seat. You have a stunning illuminated X5M right there. The steering wheel is our favorite BMW M steering wheel. The console is tilted towards you the proper way. There's a lot of buttons, a lot to get used to as usual in these new BMWs. However, when you do get used to it, it becomes very much second nature. Things are tactile. BMW almost has a little Taptic engine from the iPhone integrated into them, so you get a nice little vibration every time you click. Obviously, the Bowers & Wilkins is awesome. The interior build quality from the time we've been driving this car, considering it has just over 45,000 miles, is very nice. The car's been cared for. Like I said, very, very loaded example for this one, but there's no creaks, there's no strange noises. Everything feels incredibly tight. And considering that it's been freshly serviced, This car is very, very good to pick up, just under 70 grand right now, considering it was like 130 brand new. What do I think of the Silverstone? I think it's a nice interior if it's cared for. It's stunning, it's very, very good to look at. However, if you don't take care of it, the interior can become a little bit dull. So you have to make sure with any bright color, whether it's red, whether it's blue on some of those little Fiorin Blue G80 examples, you have to take good care of it. And if you don't, you're going to pay the price. And people are going to come into your car and say, oh, well, what is this little stain here? So you have to make sure they're cared for, especially with the brighter color like Silverstone. However, when it looks good, when it's conditioned, when it's nicely cleaned, this is an incredible interior, especially in something like an X5M, because the amount of light in this cabin generated from this massive sunroof, this panoramic roof going all the way back, combined with this brighter interior, is a very pleasant experience. It feels very modern, it feels very sharp, and it makes you want to spend more time in here than you already would. The interior flows very well. Whether it's the distance to the passenger or distance to the rear, it feels very natural. It honestly feels like what a normal car should feel like. If you bought this car and you showed it to your grandma on WhatsApp who lives over there in the Ukrainian village, she would say, damn, this guy knows what he's doing. But if you buy something like a coupe, like an M4, she's like, what the hell is this thing? You can't even take any potatoes in the back. Here, you can take her whole garden and her and something on the roof and bam it down the village with 600 horsepower, guys. This car is an incredible all-arounder. The 5 Series is just that. However, the X5 is just that for somebody who maybe wants a little more out of life. They want a little bit more height on the road and a little bit more road presence as a whole, because in a sedan, you're a little bit less respected than you are in an SUV, and that's a given. In any place of the world, an SUV has a much larger respect level than something like a 5 Series sedan would. Every speed limit gets broken. Every single rule that the municipality has put into place gets broken. And guess what? It's fine in this car. You're allowed to do it in this car. This is the kind of car that you invest the $2,400 into a laser system. Because if you don't, and you just run the radar, you risk, honestly, going to prison. Because in this car, the amount of provocation that happens from this chassis, from the vehicle, to your foot, to your handling, the amount of confidence that's being channeled through your blood because of BMW's awesome engineering and the M Division's tuning of this platform, well, honestly, not to speed would be a sin. You get this car to speed, and that's the truth. Super fun around town, honestly. You don't even have to go too crazy just because you accelerate to the car that's in front of you so fast, regardless of how far they are. They can be almost 18 car lengths in front of you, and within 3 seconds, you're right there. So 2-3 upshifts, and you're golden. And you just got a smile on your face. You got adrenaline going through you. You're very happy that you bought this vehicle. And honestly, as long as you keep up with maintenance, this car will not give you any problems ever. And all it's going to do is make you smile and make you super happy that you bought a BMW X5M. Thank you guys for watching MList. My name is Peter, and this was the F95 BMW X5M competition that you can check out on MList today.